again for day 2 of our 40 days and 40 nights with Jesus. This is our morning session for day 2. So let's see what Jesus has to say to us today. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we would love for all of you to make a commitment to doing these 40 days and 40 nights, just as our dear one is making the commitment to do these 40 days and 40 nights with each other. There is freedom through discipline, and in your society you have rarely been given this information. Ancient societies and learned teachers and wise masters have always worked with their acolytes, their students, over long periods of time so that the mind can be changed. There's a reason you're sent to school for 12 years. It takes 12 years to train a mind. Once you have been indoctrinated into any system for a decade or so, the teacher no longer needs to be present. You will be self-enforcing the rules and laws and principles that you have been taught. So when you leave your traditional school systems, you no longer have to be supervised very much. There are ongoing programs of indoctrination that continue to remind you of the value system with which you have been indoctrinated. And that would be considered a daily meditation, let's say. So when you are working with us, as you know, we have been producing information on this format, on this platform for about 7 or 8 years. Those of you that have been there since the beginning have seen a massive transformation in your inner experience. You are more peaceful, you are healthier, you have made different decisions about how and where and with whom you live. This all comes from a daily practice. This all comes from training the mind, or in the case of most of you, retraining the mind. We are working to retrain your mind into a more loving, visionary, creative state. When you have grown up on commercial television, when you've grown up on news and academia in the sense of only developing the intellect and the thinking processes rather than the feeling processes, you are going to need to be retrained. And that is what the Course in Miracles is for. That is what these 40 days and 40 nights are for. They are to keep reminding you each day that love will bring you what you want. And that means loving visions, loving ideas, looking at the world through loving eyes. And as you can see with what's transpiring on your planet at this time, this is a great challenge, and this is why these 40 days and 40 nights were instigated as a means of support through challenging times where your beliefs, your ideas, your values, the things you have accepted as real and permanent are being changed and transformed. When you have an indoctrination process deeply embedded in the mind, it can be shattering to realize that that system is a fictitious one, or that that system is deceptive in some way. And this is what many of you are going through now, whether it be your pension plans, whether it be your education system, the plans you have for becoming a doctor or a teacher, the system of education of your children, transportation. All of these systems are shattering before your very eyes. And for many of you, this is a deeply destabilizing time because all of these elements are part of your personality. You have assumed that they are going to be with you always, that life is going to be predictable. It's the same kind of trauma that people go through when their civilized, quiet, beautiful nation is suddenly attacked and war breaks out. Their buildings are destroyed. They cannot go to work. They become poor. These are the kinds of systems that are imploding right now, not through any necessarily unseen hand, but through a very, very clearly seen hand. But what can you do about it? What can you do to remain calm? What can you do to remain peaceful? You must retrain your mind. You must begin to value differently. You must begin to let go of things that are disappearing. Attachment causes suffering. Acceptance brings peace. Most people who hear the word acceptance do not want to accept what is happening. And acceptance does not mean that you agree with what's happening. And this is what's important for you to understand today. Acceptance of what seems to be happening. A global governance system is wreaking havoc on the economy and reducing your freedoms. The winds of change are blowing through cities and states. You are seeing people behaving in ways that you are completely, you do not understand. When you see this happening and you resist it, you are in fact going to suffer. When you see this happening and you accept it and begin to change your behavior accordingly, then you are going to see change that is beneficial to you. And this is the place that we would like to talk about today. This idea of seeing that systems are crumbling, seeing that the old is leaving, but knowing that you have guidance. You are not left here alone. You are not left here without guidance. Every single one of you has guides and teachers, spiritual guides and teachers that can communicate with you, and they will communicate with you via intuition, feeling, nudges, hints of ideas, dreams, synchronicities. And so you are not abandoned. You are not abandoned by God. You are not abandoned by your guides and teachers. You are in fact being given an opportunity to transform if you listen to those inner nudges, if you listen to those intuitive hits. Now, some beings are, for example, being nudged to move out of the city and find a more rural environment in which to weather these storms. Some are getting those hints, those hits of intuition. I think I would rather not be in the city right now. It seems to me that this is far less fun than it used to be. But they are ignoring it because they are feeling, well, everything will go back to normal. Everything will be as it was. You all have decisions to make. What are you going to invest your time in? What are you going to invest your money in? What are you going to do that benefits your families? Each of you are going to be guided. We are not going to tell you what to do. What we are telling you is that the system of information that you are dependent upon is leading you to a precipice. The system of information, the mainstream media, we will say, is guiding you towards tricky times. How do you upgrade your intuition? How do you get these messages from your guides and teachers? How do you tune into this intuitive, creative feeling aspect that has been systematically denied and decreased through your education? Little children love to color. Little children love to run and play and joy. Little children love to imagine and create and pretend. By the time you've done your schooling system, those things are gone, and you are prepared for a world of drudgery, a world of 40 hours a week, a world of working hard. But now, what do? If you are trained for a system that no longer exists, you must retrain your mind. You must. Otherwise, you will spend your life suffering and lamenting the loss of a past. Like the lover who never forgets the person that left them and abandoned them and ceased to live for the rest of their existence. It is a sad and sorry thing. They have chosen to give up on life. We are asking you not to give up on life. We are asking you to become interested in that non-physical aspect of your mind. And one of the ways that you can do that is to begin to read and study information that is truthful, loving, informative, and leading you towards your own personal power. This being has written many books, and we would suggest that you start there. These books are easy to read. They are introducing ideas of mental, physical, emotional transformation, explaining how you got where you are. Again, if you do not know where you are and how you got there, you cannot get yourself out of that situation. You must come to see, oh, I have been contributing to this system of powerlessness, this system of control, this system of unloving, unforgiving ways. Where am I willing to be controlled? Where am I unforgiving? Where am I dependent or codependent? Begin to ask these questions, but your mind, trained as it is, will not be able to come up with the answer. In fact, it will not even want to ask those questions. So you must begin to re-educate yourself. You can begin by reading this being's books, watching this being's videos. Many of you have been doing that. But now the time calls for you to practice, not just listen and watch and be entertained. Now it is time to implement those practices in your own life. And if you are seriously wanting your life to be transformed into a more vibrant, creative, cohesive, loving state, then we would suggest that you start the lessons of A Course in Miracles. The Course in Miracles is a challenging text. You may not understand much of it when you start, but it is free online, or you can purchase the book, which is a good idea. Then you are not dependent on Wi-Fi systems and being hooked into electrical systems. The book is a very, very good idea. Last year we did daily commentary on the lessons, which is very helpful, bringing it into more ordinary language. Some of you will resist this and say, I've looked at the Course, I don't understand it. You do not understand much. You do not understand your society and how it works. You do not understand the banking system and how it takes your money and your wealth. You do not understand the education system and what it is actually designed for. There is much you do not understand. But one of the things you must understand is your own mind. And A Course in Miracles will take you on a journey, releasing that which is in your mind that does not serve you, that which keeps you underpowered, that which frightens you. It is with Christ consciousness that you go on that journey. I am that one that you know as Jesus. I went on that journey and Christ consciousness entered me. And that is the story that you hear of my journey on earth, when Christ consciousness entered me. I am not the Christ. I am a human being. I was a human being that was infused with the Holy Spirit and Christ consciousness, and it gave me exceptional gifts. You too can be infused with exceptional gifts. Gifts of prophecy, gifts of clairvoyance, gifts of intuition, gifts of creativity. Those hardcore dogmatic Christians will say that that is the devil speaking. On the contrary, you are powerful beings. On the contrary, you are connected to the divine and are given messages all the time. You have merely been trained in a system that shuts that down. So let us work together to open that back up again. And we would suggest that being guided by wise mentors is the place to start. So joining us each day and evening is going to be good for you. It is going to give you hints and ideas, but you must always practice, practice, practice. What you do with your mind every minute, what you do with your mouth every minute in terms of what you say about yourself, what you say about the world, what you want to experience. These are the ways that you manifest your future. Your future is being manifested now. So be wise and begin to follow wise counsel. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and I will speak to you later today. Okay, just want to remind you to check out our Channeling Jesus community. It's a very supportive environment full of wonderful hundreds and hundreds of videos, many of which you've seen on YouTube, but many of which you will never have seen. They have been produced in private in the last 3 or 4 years. Timeless information that's going to assist in your re-education. I also want to mention that if this YouTube channel is censored or shut down, you can find me at channelingjesus.com and you can join the Channeling Jesus community there for access to all of my work, a huge library and archive of everything I've ever done. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope we get our 40 days and 40 nights together here on YouTube. Thank you for joining me this morning, and I'll see you later today. Bye.